Okay, yesterday in writing, we talked how to describe our setting, how to add details to a story by describing our setting. So, I'm going to do my setting for my story, which was the bathroom, and I'm going to add this to our wall for personal narratives. Describe what a person might see, hear, taste, smell, and feel in the setting of your story. So today we're going to take our settings that we did yesterday and we're going to go in our story and see if we need to add anything that describes how it might what you might see, hear, taste, smell, or feel. So my setting, remember, my main setting was in my bathroom. Okay. What I might see there, okay, is my bathtub full of towels. Okay. I might see the radar. Radar is what shows you where the rain is coming on your phone. So radar on the phone, because I was watching that. And then I can hear the guy, what are they called? The weather forecaster, the weatherman. I could hear the weatherman talking on the TV. Even though I was in my bathroom, I had the TV on in the living room, and I could hear him talking on it. So I could hear that. And then I could taste. I didn't taste anything while I was in there. Smell, I didn't really smell anything either. But feel, remember it was cold bathtub. Okay. All right. All right. So that was my setting. I didn't taste or smell anything really in there. I don't think there's anything that would make my story better with taste or smell there. So I'm going to look in my story and go back to my beginnings. Remember, we really got into our settings at the beginning. So I said late one night in the spring. So that tells my reader when it was. I was watching TV in the living room. So I'm still in the living room here. All of a sudden, the weatherman said, "Tornado warning, take cover." I could hear the wind howling. That's what I could hear. I'm still not in the bathroom yet. Then I ran to grab some blankets and yelled to Mary and my husband, "Get in the bathroom!" We climbed into the cold, okay, so I already have that. Into the cold, I'm going to put damp. Do you know what damp means? Yeah. Wet, but not really wet, right? Just a little bit wet. And that was what the bathtub is. The cold, damp bathtub with our, I could do a filling word here, with our warm blankets. Okay, so I added some feeling there. Cool bathtub, warm blankets. A few minutes later, the phone rang. It was my dad. He was in the bathtub too. We sat in the bathtub for what seemed like hours. I'm going to say, but it was only minutes. I'm going to add. You know what? I'm not going to have room there. Guess what I got to get? Okay. All right. So right here, I'm going to add, I could hear the weatherman talking about the tornado. And I could see it on my cell phone radar. So I'm talking about what I heard and what I saw there. Okay? So I just added some words to help describe the setting of my bathtub. It's not the beginning setting because that was in my living room. So I added cold, damp bathtub, so you know it's cold and a little wet. I added that my blankets were warm, or as blankets usually are. And then I added, before I said the phone rang again, I talked a little bit more about my bathtub setting. Okay? I said I could hear the weatherman talking about the tornado, and I could see it on my cell phone radar. So I'm going to read this part. It was my dad. He was in his bathtub too. We sat in the bathtub for what seemed like hours, but it was only minutes. I could hear the weatherman talking about the tornado, and I could see it on my cell phone radar. Then the phone rang again. So I helped make you see my picture, right? The picture in your brain. You made a mental picture. You could feel the cold and dampness of the bathtub. You could feel the warm blankets. You could hear the TV. You know how you can hear the TV from your bedroom or from another room? So you could hear the weatherman talking about tornado, and you can imagine me looking at the phone, looking at the radar, seeing where the tornado was. So now that gives you a better picture in your brain of my setting. So that's what you're working on your story. You're working on making the setting that you described yesterday, and if you need to add more to yours, you can. And you're going to use some of the things you said about your setting here in your story. You're going to add some things to your story so the reader can see it. Make a mental image of what they should be seeing in their brain when they're reading your story. So I'm going to give you about 10-15 minutes. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on that part of your story. And then next week, Monday, we're going to start working on our endings so that we can get close to finishing these stories.